Hello, Faelan here with stars and cards for the Everyday Priestess channel. Usually I do a 2-week forecast, but this month we have the Eclipse Special. So I'll do a whole 4 weeks, which will include both eclipses. They always come in pairs. And then I will be gallivanting around Wales, Glastonbury, and Cornwall for most of September, doing various priestess magic. Okay, so last video we talked about the first of the 2 Virgo new moons in this one Virgo season. So now we have a Pisces full moon lunar eclipse on September 7th, and then we have the Virgo new moon solar eclipse on September 21st. So eclipses always come in pairs. It isn't always a full moon and then a new moon. They can switch order. Every now and then there will be 3 eclipses in a row. But here we are in eclipse season on the Virgo Pisces axis. So on September 7th, got my notes here, at 11:08 a.m. we'll have a full moon, which always means the sun is opposite the moon, vice versa. The moon is opposite the sun with Earth in between. So this creates a lunar eclipse, and it is close enough to the nodes that it is a total lunar eclipse. But here in the west coast of the USA, it's at 11:08 a.m., so we won't be able to see it. So that is at 15 degrees Pisces. Because it's a full moon, it brings with it the energy of completion, like you've been working towards a thing and now it is done. So on the one hand, there's a celebratory quality. A thing has materialized, a thing has been accomplished. But on the other hand, it's like letting it go. So it can often lead to endings. Full moon lunar eclipses can also often lead to endings. And a lot of times with eclipses, things feel faded is a word I hear a lot. And on the one hand, it's kind of true, but on the other hand, I feel like that's kind of become a pop buzzword that can feel empty. So things may feel outside of your control. But if we really step back and feel into it, it's almost always for the best. So in Pisces, this full moon in Pisces, it's really shining a light on our spiritual side. Pisces is already the sign of letting go, of merging with divine consciousness, of release into something bigger than us. So there's an invitation of surrender and an invitation for us to listen to our guides. What does that look like for you? That can be totally personal, but surrendering what we think we know or what we think we're supposed to do or what we think is the right thing, right? Virgo is in charge of the right thing to do. And so the moon is opposite Virgo, releasing what we think is the right thing to do and surrendering to something bigger than us. Now, that can be through meditation, that can be through prayer, that can be through spiritual practice, that can be through art, that can be through quality time in the ocean, that can be self-care in a bath where you really just let go and allow free association consciousness to come in. It's different than busy mind. It's not that. Pisces is not busy mind. Pisces is opening the mind and allowing allowing images, thoughts, words, colors to come through and to really listen and hear in it the clues from spirit, from source. So that's the invitation. It is about surrender. This eclipse is about surrender. Then we will have the Virgo new moon, the second one, the black moon, at 29 degrees Virgo on September 21 at 12:54 p.m. So these are Pacific time. I live on the West Coast in the US. So this is a solar eclipse because it's a new moon. Now we are on Earth and we're not looking at the sun, but we know where the sun is, and the moon passes directly in front of it. This will just be a partial eclipse because even though the moon is passing in front of it, it can be a little higher or a little lower, right? So it doesn't cover the whole thing. It's at the latest degree or so that an eclipse can be, so I don't think that we'll see any shadow, but we might. With the new moon, we have new beginnings. New things are opening up. And it's happening wherever 29 degrees Virgo lands in your chart. So for me, that's in my first house, and that is about my identity. That is about my leadership skills. Let's go through the houses really quickly since we're having an eclipse special video. The releasing surrender Pisces full moon eclipse is at 15 degrees Pisces. So you'll look for 15 degrees Pisces in your chart and see what house it is in. And I'm going to talk about houses in a minute. And then this new beginnings Virgo new moon solar eclipse, new opportunities, new initiations, like aha moments will be happening at 29 degrees Virgo. So where does that land in your chart? Let's talk about these houses, the quick version. If you look at a chart, I don't want to make this too long of a video. If you look at a chart, it's divided into what looks like kind of like pizza slices. They're not all the same size, depending on what house system you use. And they have numbers, and the numbers go counterclockwise. So the little triangular pizza slices each have a number. The first house, slice 1, is about identity, leadership, who you are, how you navigate the world. The second house is about resources, skills and tools that you acquire to live a good life. Anything that makes you comfortable living life. That can also be confidence. It can be money. It can be a house, shelter, like the structure of a house, not necessarily the feeling of home. That's a different house. A different astrological house. Okay. So resources. The third house is about communication, language, learning, perception. Also siblings. The third house is how we perceive things. It's about curiosity, and it's about how we communicate. The fourth house, now we have this feeling of home, safety, nourishment, hopefully, family, ancestors, the land we live on, the connection to the land we live on or the land we've come from. That can also be about our deeper psychology. It's a hidden, a private place. The fifth house, passion, risk. Risk is one of the words that has kind of fallen by the wayside in our modern understanding of astrology. But risk and games of chance are very fifth house associations. But also children, our creative projects, our self-expression. Yes, fifth house stuff. Love affairs. Sixth house. This is a sense of duty. These are your daily responsibilities, your daily routines, and also your physical health. The 7th house, that is about our one-on-one trusted relationships and building that trust. That is often called the house of marriage, but it isn't just about romance. It can be your bestie. It can be your partner, your romantic partner, or husband or wife. It can be business partners that you choose to sign contracts with. You trust them enough to sign a contract with. It can be client therapist type of things, the counselor and the client, where there's a trusted one-on-one relationship. The 8th house is about intimacy. The 7th house is about contract trust. Like, I trust you enough to make agreements with you, and that agreement might be marriage. But the 8th house is where we get to the nitty-gritty, the dark secrets, that I can tell you anything and I know you won't judge me. That kind of intimacy. It's the house of sex, death, taxes, other people's money, anything taboo, anything that people like you wouldn't just bring up at a dinner party. It's probably an 8th house thing. Also, the occult and esoteric study. It's the place where we can really access shadow and the underworld and magic. The 9th house is our quest, our sense of purpose. What is out there, and where is my place in it? So it is often associated with travel, because one of the ways we find out what is out there is by going out there. So this is not about going out there 2 towns away. This is going out there across the sea, or going out there to where they don't speak the same language as you. Like really getting out of your own experience and seeing the bigger picture. So that often covers spirituality, religion, higher education, like college, publishing, these pursuits of higher learning. The 10th house is really about your legacy, your career, your mission in the world, your calling in the world. So this is how the world sees you, like your reputation, like somebody who doesn't have your phone number, or, you know, like you're not close, you don't spend time together, how they would see you and your role in the world. So it does often relate very closely with your job. The 11th house is about hopes and dreams, future goals, and the network of people or friends who can help you get there. And I say friends because in the days where this was named the House of Friends, friends had a different connotation. These are more like networking acquaintances, people that helped you accomplish a goal, communities, clubs. Whereas now I feel that our friends are something much more personal, the people that we would give the title friends. And then the 12th house, the house of letting go, the house of surrender, the house of dreams, and the house of loss. It's about learning the art of letting go and finding who we are without those material possessions. That doesn't always have to be through difficult loss. That can also be through meditation. That can be through a release of ego. That can be through dreams. That can be through spiritual practice. So those are the houses, and now you can go and look. 15 degrees Pisces is the place we're being invited to, or if we're real stubborn, forced into surrender. And 29 degrees Virgo is the place where we are being given a new doorway, a new opportunity. But you have to be bold enough to take it. Especially because Saturn is directly opposite that new moon Virgo solar eclipse. There's a new opportunity, but it's going to require commitment and work. Will you take it? These are the kind, when it comes to eclipses, these are the kind of choices that really make a difference in your life. So I would encourage you to not be scared. Maybe that's not the right way to put it. It might be scary, but I encourage you to take the leap of faith anyway. Because it can lead to really great things if you're willing to do the work and to really face the obstacle or the challenge that is presented about saying yes to the thing. Saturn opposite that moon. Okay, we do have some other things happening besides the eclipses, but eclipses are such a fun and oftentimes mysterious subject. So I always like to spend time talking about those because there's such an opportunity for our evolution, and they do have a sense of destiny associated with them. Like things happen, and it just has a feeling of magic or destiny or fate. And the choices that we make during those eclipse times can really support us to level up, or we can be stubborn and not want to change and throw a fit about what's changing and stay stuck in our ways, and then find ourselves in a life that we don't love. Okay, what else is happening? On September 5th, Uranus goes retrograde in Gemini. I'm just going to hit the main points. Uranus is square Pluto for most of the month of September. So it may not feel like it's really affecting your personal life that much, but there will be a lot of sudden changes, power plays, which we're already seeing, and potential revolutions that really get ignited or activated. A lot of things coming out of nowhere that have a lot of power behind them for the whole month of September. When do I get to talk to you again? I don't think I'll be talking to you again until October. So on September 18, Mercury goes into Libra. On September 19, Venus enters Virgo, conjunct the moon. On September 22, Mars moves into Scorpio. And on September 22, the Sun enters Libra. So those are some of that is a lot of personal planets shifting in 1 month. Now those you will feel on a personal level. So a really quick summary, Mercury into Libra, now our conversations are getting much more balanced. We're trying to bring harmony through communication. Venus into Virgo, we're getting very particular about what we like, what we don't like, what really works and what does not work. We're troubleshooting relationships. Mars into Scorpio, life force permeating our desire. Not just our sexual desire, absolutely, but also our personal power. The things that we believe in on the inside authentically are getting a boost of adrenaline. Sun into Libra, our vernal equinox, that moment of perfectly balanced light and darkness, day and night. So let's pull, since we're doing a 1 month eclipse special, let's pull 3 cards to see what the cards want us to focus on during this eclipse season. We see big generational planet change, like change on a society level, and a lot of internal personal planets shifting as well. What 3 cards do we need the message for the month of September? I'm getting a proper shuffle for this. Okay, what have we got? The Page of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. The Page of Cups, our intuition and our imagination. Spirit is speaking to us abstractly. And if we listen, new opportunities arise that have long-lasting potential. Things that make us truly happy. Things we feel passionate about. Knight of Cups. Sharing this vision, sharing this poetic, inspired vision that we've created with the other people in our lives that we want to share it with, and that can help us get there. I love that. Look for inspiration in unusual places. Say yes to the opportunities. Yes to the opportunities. And then share that poetic vision with the people you care about and the people who can help you make it true. All right. By the time you see this video, I won't be on a plane yet, but I will be traveling abroad, doing wonderful priestess things, a lot of priestess things, for half of September, and I will see you again in October. If you want to book readings, go to my website, roseofvenus.com, and I have made all of my new moon and full moon tarot spread write-ups that I do. I've made them in advance, and I've scheduled them out to go in my email newsletter. So you can go to roseofvenus.com and put in your email address, and they will show up in your inbox even while I'm gallivanting around sacred sites. Okay. All right. Happy eclipse season. May you say yes to the best of your potential.